Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Dev Sync. Today we're going to go around the room and get an update on what everybody's been working on since the last meeting 2 days ago. Nazar, if you want to go first.
Sure. On my side, it's actually very short. I just had one refactoring pull request, and that is about it on the code contribution side, unfortunately. Was busy with other things.
Okay. And do we have any resolution on that on the bug in the test A environment or test B, whatever it was?
Yes, but that's not something that I resolved eventually.
Oh, Serge got it. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, cool. Okay, Liu-Cheng, you're up next.
Okay. I have prepared a separate branch for relatively easy review, which is called serious review, where I have moved all the Cumulus and Polkadot dependencies into the Subspace repo. So you can compile all the binaries on the Subspace repo. And I have shared the instructions to run the demo locally on Discord. You can try it if you got some time. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have since last update.
Great, Liu-Cheng. So is that fully ready for us to review the code, or is there still anything else you need to do?
Yeah, just for the review purpose.
Right, sure. Yeah. Okay. Great. Okay. Well, I think we're going to be talking about that later today. Nazar,
Yeah.
discussion on that. Okay. Great. All right. Let's see. Serge, you're up next.
Okay, so Polkadot archive is almost ready. We have like less than 500,000 blocks left. I think within today or tomorrow will be ready. Statement will be next, I hope. Yes, the issue with WebSocket connection on test A and dev was also resolved. Eventually, we just need to add. So now we have multiple WebSocket connections from each source chain to Subspace node instead of one WebSocket connection, which we reused between source chains. So the updated version of Relayer was deployed on test A, and so far everything works. And today I also started working on WebSocket support for Relayer, something we discussed before many times. And that's it.
Great. Can you explain that one more time about the multiple WebSocket connections per node? Do you mean to on finality, like for each parachain we have it?
No. So we had from Relayer, we had one WebSocket connection for with a Subspace node, and that WebSocket connection was kind of overloaded. So eventually we had to make per each source chain a separate instance of this Polkadot API, which connects to Subspace node.
I get it.
Yeah.
So we're going to have as many WebSocket connections as we have source chains in the future.
Yes.
Per node.
Right.
Okay. And those WebSocket connections are pretty low overhead. We could run like thousands or tens of thousands of those, right?
Well, I think if it becomes a bottleneck, we can create like a pool of connections and just reuse those, like which are free.
Okay.
If it becomes an issue.
Okay, great. All right, and so that's just on the relayer side. That has nothing to do with our nodes. So that didn't require a reboot of the actual test net.
Yeah.
Okay, great. What I'm thinking that we're going to do is once we get Polkadot archived and state mine, that we'll probably reboot test A from Genesis again with all the latest images and back up Polkadot and Kusama from Genesis, and then we can do a blue-green to switch that over to the public-facing one.
Okay.
But it sounds like it's going to be maybe another day or two before we're ready to do that. We probably want to have the WebSocket support in there as well, so we can have so it can be more robust. Okay.
Mm.
All right. Anything else, Serge?
No, that's it.
Okay. Leo, you're up next.
Yeah, for the last 2 days, yeah, Monday especially, I was working with the Subspace report, and yesterday we got this first version in the master branch with an initial library and examples actually, and I also yesterday shared a bundled version of the library that works to get an HTML and JavaScript example, and it's working actually. And I also worked with the Subspace relayer front, having some missing tasks in there. And I think that today I will be closing that and going back to the Polkadot Explorer. I also created some issues in the Polkadot Apps Explorer in our fork, so you can be aware what are the pending features in the current state of that. And yeah, I think that's are my updates for now.
Great. Thanks, Leo. Looking forward to going over all that tomorrow morning on the call. Any questions in the group for Leo? Okay. Ozgun, you're up next.
All right. For the last 2 days, I was working on inspecting desktop Subspace, desktop farmer, and I look at how Tower worked. And other than that, today I inspected more on the bugs of plotting integration test. I made progress, but I stuck again, and I made a detailed report on that on Notion just before this meeting. It's in workspace farmer protocol plotting test bug. Hoping that someone can help with that. Other than that, I was also writing a new article on explaining blockchain, as I mentioned in Discord. And that's what I was doing in the last 2 days.
Did you share that Notion within the Discord with anyone?
No, I just finished writing it before the meeting. I can share the link in Discord.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the problem you had, and maybe we can just resolve it right now?
Yeah, sure, why not? So there are 2 problems. Let me start with the first one. When I run the test for the first time, it creates an error of unwrap on a non-value, which does not happen if I run it for the second or third time or the fourth time. And I can't see the relationship. I tried to inspect the...
What test are you running, Ozgun?
The test is plotting continue. The name is plotting continue.
But unwrap on which line?
For example, line 188.
Which file? Like,
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, my bad. So do you want me to share screen? It should be better.
sure.
Okay. While I prepare the screen, can we go on Liu-Cheng? Then I can share the screen and we won't waste time. I'm preparing GitHub that in the meantime, that's why.
Yeah, Liu-Cheng's already given his update, but I can go ahead.
Sorry.
No worries. Yeah, I don't really have anything on my side to update. I haven't had a chance to work on anything on the engineering front separate from what I talked about last time. I guess the one thing I'll mention is that we do have the desktop farmer or desktop app sync in about 20 minutes. We haven't had that meeting in probably 6 weeks. So we're trying to reboot that. So let's see. So Serge, Leo, Ozgun, you guys will be there. Justin, I guess he's not going to be there since he's sick. Diana will be there from our side, and I'll be there, or from the business side, I mean. So this is going to be a new initiative, which we're going to be trying to reboot, and we're just going to discuss it really more than anything and try to get a plan for how to get it moving. But it sounds like, you know, like Leo, you've got like V1 of Subspace JS and able to get through some of the backlog of Polkadot JS and the relayer front end. So that's going to free you up some for this. And Serge, as soon as we get to the stopping point of like Polkadot state mine working and this WebSocket support added, that's going to free you up. So as a team, we should be able to tackle this and get like a version 1 out quickly, so that people can start testing this stuff. We've got a lot of people, a lot of users that want to start testing the testnet and the desktop app specifically. Okay, Ozgun, go ahead.
Sure. Okay. I believe it's there, right? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the test I'm talking about, is plotting continue. The file I'm at is farmer source plotting tests. And
Right. So it's a new file in the new branch that
yeah,
we haven't seen yet. Okay.
yeah. This is plotting continue. It tries to basically plot for 2 blocks, which are like that. And then drops the plotting here, drops the plotting. The weight actually drops the plotting. Then in the phase 2, I initialize the mock RPC again, send more blocks, and try to receive them. This is what is exactly it tries to do. And online, okay, here, sorry, 188 here. Here it crashes on the first run. But if I run it again and again and again, it doesn't crash. And this
Right,
is
because before you actually plot anything, there is no last root block stored.
it is plotted.
But are you sure it actually finished plotting by the time you run that check?
Yeah, because in the second and third run, I get this assertion true.
But on the second run, on the first run, maybe it's not plotted yet.
Okay, you're right. From here to the beginning of this test is completely the same with happy path testing. The first test in here is just copy paste. And this test also runs fine on the first run. So I'm kind of positive that this plotting finishes. It may
Well,
not, but I don't know.
do you have enough data in those blocks to actually archive anything? Let's start with that.
It's segment divided by 2. So in total should be 1 segment.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Well, but
Okay.
basically it returns none, which means there was no last root block stored.
Yeah, yeah. But I don't know why, because the same code, copy paste of this in the first test, which is happy path, it works. This test passes all the time.
Okay, I'll need to look at it closer.
Okay. So there is one more issue on the mock RPC that I wrote. If I comment out these lines and enable these lines, then it also crashes on the happy path test in the same place on Umbrella. And I don't know why, because I believe those lines are equivalent.
Okay, it crashes with what message?
The same message. Let me show it in here. I saved it in here. Sorry. Wait, yeah, here option on unwrap on non-value, and
Right,
this,
but which line, which file?
okay, the same file, tests happy path this time, and line is again in here,
So it's exactly the same problem.
exactly the same place. Yeah.
Okay, so we have just one problem. And you replace that code with what? So
I
it
didn't
didn't
replace this code. I
crashing?
just copy pasted this code in.
No, I mean you shown that send block or something. It was like two
okay,
versions.
okay. This was in mock RPC.
Okay.
This is here, like uncomment the commented ones, comment the uncommented ones.
What's the difference? Self send clone.
Clone is not necessary probably, but I was unsure if debug was owning it. So
It
even
wouldn't
without,
compile it if it wasn't owning it.
yeah, even without the clone, it was not working. By the way, this clone is not an important detail in here.
Right. So, like, so this part is okay. I'm confused. So, how does this commenting impacts anything?
You're
This
not unwrapping it anymore.
It
this
is unwrapping
running,
exactly the same way.
Yeah.
This is running for the happy path test, but if I switch the comments and uncommented parts, it doesn't run for the happy path test.
I don't believe that.
I also don't believe that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just have to run it
Yeah, sure.
myself. Don't see anything obvious.
Okay, at least we're aware of the problem. You guys can work offline
Yeah.
to fix it. All right. All right. Thanks, Ozgun. Anything else on your side? All right. Anything else we need to cover as a group? All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you again next week.